A quiet quit is not a permanent solution. So if you are quietly quitting, or if you are planning to quiet quit, make sure you do these 4 things. Hey there guys, and welcome back to my channel. We are going to continue this discussion on quiet quitting. We had a lot of conversation about 2 weeks ago when I posted the first video, and so I wanted to come back and update that video with some things that you should know about quiet quitting. But before we get into that, I do want to take the opportunity to really just kind of have a moment of silence for the students and teachers down in Texas. I know we're all really kind of feeling it. A lot of the teacher groups that I'm in, a lot of people are just starting to have a lot of anxiety. They did not deserve this. The field of education in general did not deserve tragedies like this. And unfortunately, it is what we are dealing with, but I want to be sensitive to that. And so let's just take a moment of silence in honor of those victims. Thank you so much for joining in on that with me. If you are someone who prays, please do that. If you are able to provide whatever other resources they may need in that community, please do that as well. For those who don't know, my name is Cindy Lumpkin, and I am a teacher who happened to have quit about 10 years ago. Since this whole great resignation thing, I've started doing videos just encouraging teachers, inspiring teachers, also showing them different options, and just letting them know that it's okay to do whatever it is you feel you need to do for yourself. I happened to open a small micro school, private school, about 8 years ago, and I have been loving my journey. I am one who is really, I was meant for this. I never wanted to go into corporate. I knew that I couldn't go back to public the way that it was. And now with seeing so many people who are leaving, I know it is not right for me either. But I found my oasis and a small little micro school, and I still serve a lot of underserved, lower income, middle class people that I was serving in the first place. So I have found the best of both worlds. Today, we are going to continue this discussion on a quiet quit. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to invite you to go and watch the video from 2 weeks ago where we discussed quiet quitting. Today, we're going to talk about 4 things that you need to know and or do if you are quietly quitting, or if you plan on doing a quiet quit from teaching. Number 3 is really important, so make sure you stick around for all of them. So the first thing that you should know about quiet quitting is that it's not sustainable. Now, most people get to the point that they quiet quit in the first place because they're burnt out, right? Or that they're losing passion, or for whatever reason, they're not able to really just do the job the way that they envision. It is not something that you will make a permanent decision, because here's the thing. If you try to make a quiet quit a permanent solution, you're going to continue to lose passion. And eventually you're going to become even emotionally drained and emotionally burnt out. And you're really just going to be blah. Like, I am such a passionate person, and I have to have passion. I have to enjoy what I'm doing. And so if you do a quiet quit and life is just kind of like, you're going to find yourself in a state that is probably worse than the one that drove you to quiet quit in the first place. So the first thing that you have to know, that this is not sustainable. But here's what you should do instead. If you have quietly quit, or you're planning to do it, you need to come up with some type of exit plan or some type of other. If where you are is not sustainable, if it's just not going to work out there, you have to decide what you're going to do next. You know, there's a lot of teachers who are leaving the field, who are staking out on their own. They're becoming these entrepreneurs. There are teachers who are going to corporate companies and they're working in their training departments, right? So they kind of still get to teach, but now they're working with adults. They're writing different modules and plans for companies. So figure out what you want to do. So now that you understand that it's not a permanent decision, number 2, you're going to kind of come up with some idea what's your plan, what it is that you want to do. Number 3, you're gonna update your resume. And this one is so important. So you guys listen really carefully. And this is the one that I said is my favorite. As teachers, when people see us on paper, they look at it and be like, oh, a teacher. And they really dismiss us from jobs that we are absolutely perfect for. And nowhere does this happen more than with corporate, with those jobs that we want to get in the training department. Now, what makes somebody think that a teacher could not be a trainer? I don't know. But it is a thing. But there's a way that you can fix it. My friend Katie Travis at Katie Travis Consultant, she's a teacher, but she's also a rock star resume writer, okay? And what she can do for you with your resume is to really take all of the skills that you have, which you have so many transferable skills as a teacher, and she will showcase them in a way that when someone from corporate looks at your resume, they're not going to automatically say, oh, teacher, right? And I'm telling you, the difference between you getting that job and not getting that job is with the resume. I told you guys, I'm in a lot of teacher groups, right? And we share openly. So I see people all the time who say, I put out all of these applications. I haven't even got a call back. And then you will get someone who said, I just put in the application and I got a call back and yay, I got the job with $20,000 more. Guess what the difference was between those two people? One had a teacher resume and then the other has a corporate resume. The thing that you need to know, you cannot compete in the corporate or business world with a teacher resume. So after you finish watching this video, I want you to head over to Facebook and look up Katie Travis Consulting, read some of her testimonials and reach out to her. And make sure you tell her that you learned about her from your girl, Cindy. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, she actually has written a resume for me. I am not interested in going to corporate. I am more so interested in doing maybe some adjunct professoring. Is that a word? I would eventually like to become a professor. So within the next, 5 to 6 years, I am also going to go back and work towards my doctorate. In a future video, I also might show you guys how she actually transformed my resume. But that's definitely something that you want to look into because it is so important if you are looking to leave teaching for a corporate or business position. Number 4, and I think I said 4, but I'm actually give you guys 5. Number 4, you're gonna determine a specific end date. There was a couple of you who kind of shared your experience with quiet quitting. One in particular, a teacher who had been working for 25 years, she said that sometime in March, she had just determined that she was gonna quietly quit. However, in June, she is going to be retiring after 25 years. That is an appropriate way to quiet quit, okay? So she determined an end date. There was another commenter who actually said that she actually tried setting boundaries. That didn't work. So she ended up quietly quitting and then she ended up finding a 9-to-5. So you see how that works, right? It's not permanent. So you have to decide what it is that you want to do. You have to update your resume. Then you have to determine a date that you just want to cut ties with where you are. Number 5, and this is one that I have to tell teachers a lot. When people discover me, and I'm not sure how you guys are discovering me, but I'm thankful and I'm really thankful for the support. And I really look forward to building community with this channel, not just throwing out all of this information. So for those of you who do engage with me, thank you so much. A lot of times people will inbox me, they will find me on Facebook and they will be like, oh my God, I can't believe you have a school. Like, how does this work? How did you get from, not having a school to having a school? And a lot of people, unfortunately, is really just dependent on their check for survival, right? And that's a real concern. But here's the truth with stepping out, doing anything, right? You're gonna have to either at some point figure out, I'm gonna step away to start something, or I am gonna stay, right? And a lot of times teachers who feel like they are sticking around for the paycheck, they're doing it and they're really not looking at their circumstance or their situation. So the last thing that you need to do is really sit down and map out how much money it takes you to survive, right? And I think you would be so surprised at how much you can really scale back if you really sit down and say, this is what my rent or my mortgage costs. This is what I'm doing in utilities. This is what, I pay in insurance. You have to really just map that out so you can know in your head what that looks like. And when you do this, your options really start to open up, because then, if you're going to be looking for other jobs, you're going to be able to say, you know what? I can take on this job, even though it might pay $5,000 less, because I really only need X, Y, or Z, right? Prayerfully, if you're looking to go outside of education, you're going to be going up and not down. But my whole purpose in saying that, for those of you who are like me and who just really want to be in the education profession, and you might move on to something that pays the same or lower, really just look at where you are so then you can know whether or not or when you are able to do it. So I think quietly quitting is the perfect opportunity for someone who knows that they want to transition out in their own business, right? So develop a plan. There's one teacher in our Facebook group. She actually has developed a 2-year plan. For those 2 years, she has really methodically laid out the things that need to be done, as well as created extra streams of income and saving money, so that at the end of these 2 years, she's going to be able to cut her ties with her current district and actually start her own school. And it has been so amazing seeing her journey and watching it unfold, because it is happening. She is already a nonprofit organization. She has already started having conversations with other private schools in her state. She has already, I believe her board is already together. So she's really putting herself in a position that she's going to be so much more successful in being able to actually quit her job and to walk into that thing that she's doing next. To give you a recap of everything, first thing you need to understand that a quiet quit is not a permanent solution. It is not sustainable. Number 2, you need to determine kind of what direction would you like to go in next. Do you still want to be in the field of education? Do you want to go the corporate route? Are you a teacher like me who really are interested in starting their own school? What does next look like for you? So number 3, you're going to update that resume. You're going to check out my friend Katie Travis. I am sure that you are going to be 100% satisfied with what she helps you to do. And that's really important, especially if you're going to transition from education to corporate. What a lot of people do not understand is you have so many more skills than you realize, and she's going to help pour those things out so that you can compete against those people who actually straight have these business degrees or whatever else. You bring something extra. You know how to break things down. You know how to teach things or relay things to other people. You just have to find that confidence, and then you have to also show people that on paper. So it is really important that you really take a look at that resume. And then you're going to determine that end date. That can be the scary part, but I believe you can do it. And then number 5, the last one, you're just going to really sit down and map out how much money you need to survive. Doing all of those things and really being prepared and planning, I believe that you can use the quiet quit phenomena in a way that can benefit you. All right, guys. So once again, thank you so much for all of the love and the support that you show my channel. Thank you for your engagement. Remember, if you have any questions, anything whatsoever, or even just add to the conversation. One of the things that I love, and I can't remember his name, that a commenter said on the last video that I did on quiet quitting, he was like, a quiet quit really don't make sense, because think about it. If you go to the phone company or your internet company and ask for a $50 plan, they don't give you a $100 plan. So what he is saying is that teachers should have been doing what they're paid to do all along. However, it is really kind of hard to compare, I guess, these service type jobs to kind of more of a product. But I definitely get what you're saying. And thank you so much for making me think in your comment. So, all right, guys, until next time, have a good one.